My name's Chris.
And I'm Kristie.
This is the Washing Up Podcast, and it's...
Shh.
Shh.
Dit.
Mingling.
No. Chief Quimby will make it self-destruct.
Oh, God. So, it's Secrets Week, which... Yeah, sure.
I'm surprised it's not the secret week where they all have to show
Oprah's book club?
Yeah, Oprah's book club, and they've got to show their inspiration boards, like their vision boards.
Could you imagine George's vision board? Fucking hell.
Melbourne Victory. Tweezers.
Childhood Sydney FC fans being let out by police.
Yeah.
Because they've heckled George. You know, all those things that George really loves. Underpaying staff.
More tweezers.
Mispronouncing everything. Ever.
Boom, boom, shake the room.
Oh, don't start me on that. We've got another one of those tonight. He had a worse one last night than boom, boom, shake the room. Actually, boom, boom, shake the room. Duh. He doesn't pronounce it properly.
Yeah,
so, it's Secrets Week. Secrets Week is... Yeah. Basically, it feels like a concept that has been invented because last week was really expensive week.
Yeah, well, look, I'm cool with it. You know, we're giving it some kind of guide to have some boundaries in a challenge. So let's kick it off, shall we?
Guide to boundaries. I'll remember that when we get to the second challenge from last night and we look at just what the secrets were. Because if anyone can tell me exactly what, like, Nicole's secret was... Answers on the back of a postage stamp, please.
So secret.
So secret that we still don't know what it was.
No.
I knew we were in a bit of trouble last night because we started without a Vespa. And there was no Vespa tonight either. I'm worried about where the Vespa is.
Secret Vespa.
The Vespa's a secret now.
It's so telling. Where it's been parked is a secret.
It's behind the big banana leaf tree, the one that Tardy keeps using.
Maybe Tardy drove it over there so she could climb onto it to get up to the banana leaf.
She's using it as a stepladder.
Yeah.
So... They came in last night and they all had the boxes there and they lift up the box to reveal a tiny wooden dildo. No, it wasn't a tiny wooden dildo. It was...
A tiny wooden butt plug.
No, it was too thin. It was a bit of dowel for plugging up gaps in a leaky boat.
They were all there to roast marshmallows.
Exactly, that's exactly what they were there for.
The secret is... No secret, we're just popping outside for a campfire.
So apparently the secret with this was
just
that...
Gary and George and Matt with his ukulele singing Kumbaya, my lord.
No, I like the idea of...
Kumbaya.
I like the idea...
George would sing it.
I like the idea instead of Matt sitting there with his ukulele playing Smack My Bitch Up by the Prodigy. Baby's got a temper. Come on, everybody, sing. We take Rohypnol. Just to get it on. Come on, George, your bit. This baby's got a temper. Anyway, so...
Now for my friends out there, closer.
There's not enough Prodigy sing-alongs with ukuleles.
No.
So what actually ended up happening was they announced that it was a mini rolling pin because dumplings.
Oh, yes.
Now, as we pointed out, first of all, Derek is apparently... the dumpling master.
Now...
We need to lean into this early, because...
It seems self-proclaimed. I know... I think it was Gary brought it up with him.
And then everyone in the house brought it up.
But it really does feel like... Okay, I'm going back 20 years to Jim Owen.
Do it.
When he's talking about how, you know, you get a nickname at school and it's usually something you don't want. So what his idea was... is you go to school and you just you're like, oh, please, whatever you do, don't call me demi-sex god from hell. And everyone's like, demi-sex god from hell, demi-sex god from hell.
He's come up with dumpling master himself.
Oh, don't call me a dumpling master. Just don't.
And he's doing that all the way through too. All the way last night, he's going, I hardly feel like I'm a dumpling master. And then by the end of the episode, he goes, maybe I can earn that title, dumpling master, after all.
Because I've won a challenge against, you know, other people who
don't make dumplings
all the time.
Like one of the five, and we'll come to what they had to do in a minute in a bit more depth. But one of the five was Joe, who openly admitted he'd never made a dumpling in his life.
No.
And, like, I was wondering, did they just start picking people? This is where we go back to that you need to taste everybody's. And with dumplings, like, that's not really a hard tasting.
No.
Like, they could have tasted everyone's last night to get a sample at least. They
Just get out a big lazy Susan.
bit of chili sauce in the middle.
Chili sauce and soy and mayo in the middle.
Although
there you go.
actually, all you needed was Anushka's the chili oil that she made.
Ooh, that
I would have
very nice.
I wanted that fastened to my veins. That would have been perfect. We do yum cha a lot, and we do dumplings a lot. If Derek is the dumpling master, then we are the champions of eating dumplings.
Yeah, quite possibly.
I would put that forward. Humbly, I would suggest.
Look, as much as Derek is the dumpling master, we are the dumpling champions.
I agree 100%. So it was a dumpling rolling pin, allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Why do you say allegedly?
Well, the dumpling master didn't use it.
Didn't he?
No, he used the pasta machine.
Did he?
Yeah, he did a whole thing last night on that he doesn't ever use a rolling pin. He always uses the pasta setting on the mixer.
Oh, you're talking about Derek. I thought you meant the guy that came
the dumpling master, not the guy who is actually good at dumplings.
Okay.
The dumpling master.
I'm like, no, we watched him just 4 seconds to roll them out.
No, he's a dumpling ninja because he came in and left as fast as he entered. Like, I was wondering if he actually existed.
He's got another 1,000 dumplings to crank out before his lunch break.
So it was Edward Dilianto from Din Tai Fung who came in to teach them all how to make dumplings. Is there anything specific about this? And he's like, is it 18 folds?
Yes,
and it was the twirl of the soup dumplings. They were doing the soup dumplings.
And then showing us how to eat it, which I appreciate because, like, you know, as much as I go to yum cha and stuff, I'm still guessing on a lot of the techniques.
Well, here's the interesting part for me. Like, I, as you know, much like you, love, dumplings. Jean are not my favourite. I don't like them. Robert loves them, by the way.
The soup dumplings.
The soup dumplings. I don't like them that much, but I know that you poke a hole in the side of them to let the soup get in.
Oh, okay.
So, and like I'm there going, that just the secret is you've been eating it wrong. The secret is punch a hole in it. And I'm like, well, they're soup dumplings. Yes, put some soup in there.
Oh, okay.
So, but I didn't know that put the ginger on top of it. That was what I did.
There we go, new.
It doesn't change my view on them. I'm not a big fan of those ones. So he appeared. And then vanished. Like, they couldn't afford the budget to keep him in there long enough.
Now you know why. He's from a rival ninja gang.
He saw Derek.
Yeah.
Had to leave.
The Nathans and Ben just there waiting.
We have our mean streets handled already. Derek is here.
Yes.
The mean dumpling streets have been covered. He stole the Vespa. Going to find the Vespa out the front trashed. Don't come onto our turf again.
Yeah.
So I wonder how a dumpling feud would end. Pelting everybody with dumpling.
Yeah. Just like there'd be a lot of dough incidents. Just people wrapped up in noodles. Like,
no, you don't want We don't want noodle restraints. Like imagine it. The only way to get out of it would be to steam them so they start falling apart. The only way out of
You're like, I can undo this.
Quick, we have to leave. But it's too delicious. I now just want to see a dumpling war. I mean, people are bombing the soup dumplings. They've filled them up with soup first, and they're like mini explosions. Soup everywhere. I'm burnt.
Scalding patches all over your body.
Scalding soup.
What have you been playing? Like, be like paintball.
Now, they announced that you needed to make your own dumplings.
Yep. Had to take you to Chinatown, though.
Thank God they said that, because you could see Sandeep going, samosas are kind of like a dumpling.
Yes.
Look, I love...
Poor Anushka, though. She's like, but we have dumplings?
But now my culture, we actually have dumplings. I felt bad because, like, again, I like Sandeep. I really do. But his want to make everything into Indian cuisine is starting to grate.
Yeah, he needs to broaden.
Like, you could almost feel him, like, working out if he could kind of work a korma inside one, or,
Like, what part of Chinatown is the korma in?
Yeah, well, it's like when he did Malaysian street food, and he said before he decided to do the ill-fated nasi goreng, when he turned around and you could see him trying to go, well, there's lots of Indian people in Malaysia, and our cultures have fused a little bit. And you're like, no, Sandeep, no. Do something Malaysian. So we had this weird... The weird feeling for me was when they announced that Derek was the dumpling master. It felt like, remember when they crowned Aaron the sauce king?
Maybe it's because, like Nigella, he just carries around a lot of sauces and condiments.
No, but that seemed that he made one sauce they liked once, and that was then poor Aaron's lot. And I felt bad for Aaron when they did that, because then the pressure's on when they're like, you're the sauce king, and you can see him look at them like, what do you mean? I've made one. I'm definitely not the... And there was the flavour king, and then there was the flavour elevator that came along with that. So... Like, these things can get out of hand very quickly. I'm just saying, Derek, keep your eyes and ears open, because you might very soon become the master of all Asian cuisine.
Like, the Masterchef nobility structure, like how they, hand out heralds, is very, like slapdash. It's not very
It's entirely arbitrary.
It is absolutely arbitrary.
At least... Say what you want about the monarchy, but there's hard and fast rules.
Exactly.
Like, to get a peerage within the MasterChef kitchen... It's what George's mood was that morning.
Is Matt impressed by your dough? Suddenly you're the dough count.
Like he bestowed those tweezers on Simon, and I'm still not quite sure why. But it's random quality. If you reach this level, tweezers.
He's the knight of the tweezer table. First knight of the tweezer table.
Imagine how long it takes to serve a buffet at the tweezer table. 5.5 years to serve suckling pig, because they've all got to put their tweezers together to lift it onto the table.
I'm sure you can only serve, like those gerbil videos on Facebook. Everything needs to be tweezed.
If you've never seen the gerbil eat the burrito,
she's so cute.
Do it. Just do it. It is my favourite video on YouTube. I love that video more than life itself. It is so good. It's like eating a burrito.
And there's me, this tiny little burrito. And
the effort they went to is far more.
Just gets up, puts it in his little paws, and he's like.
Now the judges had a bit of a night last night.
I'm not sure what gerbils sound like. I wonder if it's like a little guinea pig, like a.
Ask Richard Gere. Anyway, so
that's a fallacy.
It is a fallacy, but what a fallacy! So the judges had a bit of a night last night with their pronunciations. What else is new? We started with Gary. And Gary said hustle, hustle at the start, but it sounded very much like he said hustle, asshole. And Anushka looked shocked by this, and I don't blame her. That was followed by George making Michelin sound really awkward, and I don't know how you do that.
Did he say Michelin?
Michelin. He said Michelin star. And I'm like, what the fuck's a Michelin star? Like, ooh, my little restaurant, my little run. When you gonna get me some Michelin star? And they were just, it was the start of this weird thing where they made everything awkward. They also tried to sell the concept of Secrets Week. Boy, did they try to sell the concept of Secrets Week.
Yeah.
So it began with Matt Preston saying, you're not going to know what you're cooking beforehand. You're going to meet a whole pile of chefs you've never seen before. You're going to make dishes that you don't know what you're going to make until we tell you you're going to make. And I'm like, that's a normal week.
Hi, judges. I don't know if you've been aware, but the past 10 seasons have mostly consisted of you rocking up to an area, whether it be the MasterChef kitchen or an outdoor venue.
Or a place where the locals are.
A place where the locals are, you're going to cook for. And that's when you announce to the people what they're going to be cooking. And if there's like a special guest, like judge or chef there.
It's like, has Matt ever watched the show back? It just felt like he was describing MasterChef. And but it was a new concept.
Is it like going on to say, I don't know, $1 million hot seat, right? And it's like all the questions are secrets.
You're not going to know what the question is until we ask it. And then you're going to have to work out the answer. And if you don't work out the answer, we don't ask you the next question. Oh, my God, what a secret week. That's secrets.
And you rock up to an exam. It's secret schooling.
So that was a bit awkward.
You know what they missed a play on, though?
What?
Secret Squirrel. Do you remember that show?
I do. You know what else they've missed a chance on so far?
What?
They need some karaoke from the gantry.
Why?
I've got the key. I've got the secret. That'd be great.
That was the song on the Mardi Gras parade float I was on.
Nice.
So, did I ever tell you about this?
No, go for it, please.
Okay, so...
This is a new podcast story. We've never had one of these. Go.
Hey, I tell new ones all the time. You find out things.
Welcome to
So
the Delhi.
in about 2001, 2002, my darling friend Michael said to me, "Hey, Kristie, you live really close to the inner city of Miscellaneous City,
Yep.
maybe where the Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras are held.
Yeah.
Can we get ready at your place for Mardi Gras, for our float?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool, if I can be on the float." And he's like, "Oh, but you're a goth, and it's supposed to be colourful and the theme's mythology." I'm like, "I got this sorted, bro." So me and my friend, we went as Valkyries. And the great thing is, because we were in matching Valkyries, so we had our black corsets and we looked really cool. And as we were going there, this documentary team stopped us because they were doing a documentary on lesbians in Mardi Gras. So I sat there while my friend was talking about stuff, and I just pretended to, be her silent partner.
The lesbian Valkyrie.
Yeah. See, I didn't realise I was bisexual at that time, and she didn't realise which side of the bisexual fence that she actually sat on.
She hadn't worked out which side
Well,
yet.
no, I'm not saying that bisexuals have a fence.
No.
She didn't realize. Didn't realize that she wasn't bisexual, but actually lesbian at
Yes.
the time. So, for her, great. For me, underrepresented as usual.
For you,
because
documentaries.
By erasure before even I knew. I erased myself.
It sounded more like you were trying to spruik the 80s band Eurasia. And it was like, hey, buy Eurasia. Buy their album, buy their singles, buy everything. Show a little respect to them. Anyway, so... Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. So meanwhile, back at the ranch.
I do have to say, the glitter in the unit, my dad 4 years later was still vacuuming it out when he was trying to leave.
But was it piss-off glitter?
It will never be as good as piss off glitter.
Nothing will ever be as good as piss-off glitter. So the judges last night...
Yes.
They were... Look, I can't put too fine a point on it. They were absolute assholes last night.
When they went
to the
people.
benches. Like when they went to Christina's bench and she was doing the sesame. Gary was going to kill her.
It's like, hello, this is not an elimination. This is the point where you want people to be inventive.
Now,
fuck.
the problem I had with this last night, we often talk about this idea of appropriation. We talk about the idea of appropriating, but I'm going to call something... I mentioned it last night. I was talking to our good friend Josh about this, and he mentioned it on Twitter last night. I feel like they called Tati up because she has an Asian background in terms of that region. Just in the region of Asia. Not in a country that necessarily specialises in these forms of dumplings. And there were a couple of others, and controversially, Leah was probably the other one who should have been called up to be tasted because her dumplings looked really good.
They did.
And they called Tati up with absolutely no rationale behind it, because Tati was even worried about Tati's.
Yeah, Tati's like... And they kept questioning her about it.
Yeah, and then they called her up almost... They called her up almost to prove their point.
But we didn't get to see... We saw the processes of everyone else's. We didn't see a good glimpse, like Waleed. Like, what the fuck was he doing? Because who knows?
Let's talk about Waleed in a minute, because I want to come back to him. But this was the point, right? It was quite clear all the way through they thought there were big issues with Tati's. We didn't see the process, but they kept on questioning it.
Yeah.
And then they called her up.
And then they're like, yep, this is shit.
And they're like, see, we're not always great on these. Look, this is... It felt like they were making a point.
Yeah.
And every now and then they've been better this year than they have been in previous years overall. But every now and then they fall back into habits.
Yeah.
And last night was a bit of a habit. The other thing...
It's a shame because dumplings should be joyous. They should be a joyous celebration of deliciousness.
Okay, so there was a joyous celebration of deliciousness, though.
Okay.
It was fucking Gary when he tasted Derek's. Can we get Gary tested? I'm asking straight up. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We're not going to...
Someone get that man to pee in a cup and
I need him to pee in a cup. I want to stick in there, and I want to see if the stick changes colour. Get the guys... I know it's...
I've seen it. Gordon Ramsay...
Pissed on a stick?
No. Gordon Ramsay went into one of those hotel hells, I think, all the kitchen things, and he did the cocaine test all through the kitchen and the bathrooms, and he found in their bathrooms a lot of coke being used.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. But Gary's... I thought he was going to run a lap of the kitchen. He tasted Derek's. He really overreacted to Derek's, to the point where even Derek looked embarrassed by how badly Gary was reacting to it. And, like, he's running forward, punching, that's it, that's the master. And it's like, what is wrong with you, Gary? Breathe.
Yeah, it's like...
It's so weird.
It's like, okay, it's like he's gone, fine, I'm going to show enthusiasm and blah, blah, blah. But it's not genuine enthusiasm. It's actual kind of like hyperactivity. It's the wrong kind of energy, and it's not an authentic, I'm enjoying this energy. It's a... I'm
going to make a deal out of this. It's a Mark Holden touchdown energy.
Oh, that's just nasty,
isn't it?
Yeah.
So they called up 5 people. Again, Christina was the other one who, after bagging out the idea, when they tasted it, they really seemed to love what she did.
Yeah.
But it kind of felt like they had spent the entirety of this episode telling us how good Derek was at dumplings.
Yep.
And the announcement of who won had a bit of an air of, look, they were great, but Derek's got a penis.
Yeah, like but football in the grain's got football in the grain. And there's Nicole, right, who's and I loved what she said, and she's like, I've got nothing to lose. I'm putting these sesame seeds in.
Oh, Christina,
sorry. I've got nothing to lose. And it's so true. And I'm like, good. This is what we want to see at this stage. You know, you're not out in
And shout out to Anushka, because even though they didn't go brilliantly for Anushka, the way she just palmed George off when George came up to her and started giving advice, and she basically told him to fuck himself.
Because he's like, oh, you haven't got your dough on. You haven't made your dough.
She's like, I've got plenty of time.
You haven't made your dough.
I said good day. I just wanted her to say that to him. I said good day.
It's like someone had stolen George's newborn child. And he's like, where is my child? Where is my child? You haven't made your dough. Oh, like fucking cataclysm. It's like, if she hasn't made the dough, you know what's going to happen?
What?
Fucking apocalypse.
Oh,
that's what's going on. He's like, this is the 5th sign. Seventh seal's been broken.
And not against Joe, but I kind of felt like they called Joe up just to prove Joe was a thing. So they needed to call Joe up to prove he was a thing. I think because they worked out that they lost Blake, and we barely realised that Blake was a thing.
Oh, and Blake, we hardly knew ye.
We did hardly know ye, Blake. And the problem was we lost... Obviously, Blake went the other night, and we barely saw him. Ben has had hardly any airtime whatsoever.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit more here and there.
But he's had a fuck ton more than Waleed.
Fucking Waleed. Remember they mentioned Waleed really early on, and we haven't heard from him since. Where is Waleed gone?
He hasn't even appeared in Blacks.
No.
He hasn't done anything spectacular.
They stood him in the middle of the gantry tonight, so when they did the bench shot of the gantry, you could hardly spot him again.
Yeah.
Look, Ben's managed to get himself on air simply by having shirts, which is a good call, and Ben, we like you for that.
Waleed also has shirts. He has your flamingo shirt.
He does. Waleed did shop at Connor. I know that much.
Yeah.
But Waleed's gone missing. Ben's sort of there a little bit, but that...
Tessa Keddy's not shown much either at the moment.
Yeah, she had a big couple of weeks, though. See, these two are the new ones, because Blake's gone.
Yeah.
So we've lost Blake. We've lost Monica. We lost with... We barely even knew she existed. Yosra was the same thing. We barely even knew...
She was there for like 3 days.
We barely even knew she was there either. You know, again... It took us a while to work out who the hell Simon was, and then we regretted that immediately. And
can't put that back in the box.
You know what we've never had to worry about?
Tim.
And you know who we don't have to worry about either?
Abby.
Oh, God. So apparently what we've decided to do is mix and match.
Yep.
We've got Tim. We've got Abby.
Yep.
So either Tim mansplains or Abby producer-splains.
They're like the anchors in the Channel 10 newsroom. What was his name? Tim, what's his face?
No, Tim Bailey's the kooky weatherman, which should be Ben because of the shirts.
And then Abby's the Sandra Sully.
Abby is Sandra Sully.
Yeah.
And Tim is Ron Wilson, because I'm going back that far.
I once met Ann Sanders when she was very, very drunk. It was hilarious.
God, that would have... Because she's very prim and proper on the TV.
She came into the cinemas a little... worse for wear after an obviously lovely evening out.
Allegedly.
I saw her.
Alleged blanket.
And she was so sweet and nice. I got her to sign something because I felt I had to. And it was really awkward.
So let's deal with the second part of this challenge from last night, which is where, because we had a discussion about this beforehand about the term Secret Week, and I said I'm not really a fan of this because it feels like bullshit. And you said, as you said at the start of this episode, but it gives them a structure, and there's a bit of a structure there. So the second challenge, make a dish with a secret. And you know what I went back to? The colour challenge. And you know why I went back to the colour challenge?
Why?
Nicole.
Oh, true.
Nicole was the Chloe of the colour challenge.
Oh, my God.
So for those who don't remember the colour challenge a few years ago, you had to use a colour and represent the colour in your dish.
And Chloe got indigo, which is a pretty unfortunate colour to get.
But she said it reminded her of a grandmother.
Yes.
And she was going to work it through.
It was going to be snow on an indigo plate.
Yeah, she decided to go with an indigo plate. The one thing she never checked, there were no indigo plates anyway. And secondly, that wasn't really including it in the food, which they specified. And somehow, Chloe survived despite not meeting a single part of the brief whatsoever, which did lead to the hashtag put out your indigo plates, where we all went outside and stacked white plates outside the front door.
Now, Nicole's essentially was, what was it? The secret is I didn't go to school that day or something?
The secret that she had was she used to steal the figs, was it, from the tree?
Oh, that's right.
That was her secret. I used to steal the fruit from a tree.
I guess her other option was to serve like some soil with something buried under it.
I wanted someone to get a bit too deep. Yeah. The secret is I once murdered my younger brother and like threw him off a cliff, and nobody knows where he's gone. He's a missing person to this day. But, you know, I really wanted that Super Nintendo, and so I... Oh, you meant secret in the food. That's... Yeah. Never mind.
The secret is my grandfather bequeathed to me the cure for cancer. But I thought I cannot reveal it to the world because it is not ready yet. So I have hidden it in dun 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 this soup.
You must finish the soup. On one hand, I really want the cure to cancer. On the other hand, the soup's disgusting. Sandeep, on the other hand, there's two things. First of all,
he's told us that he had a secret garam masala.
Secondly, his hands. Secret weapons, apparently.
Not so secret now.
Is anything that Sandeep does secret?
No.
Because that garam masala.
I have to say, I went to the Channel 10 website today, to the Masterchef website, I should say.
Was there just a question mark?
No, there was a whole lot of recipes that were like, such and such is secret, such and such. And it's like, whoa, it's there in black and white now. A colour photo.
Every 2.5 seconds last night, I'm so pleased, I pondered putting the word secret on the drinking game this week. If I had put that on the drinking game, we would have had people dead. Because last night in the second half, they said the word secret every sentence. It got to the point where about halfway through the challenge, Gary went, enough of the secrets now, we just want your dishes. So even they went, this is getting too much.
Yeah. The only person's secret I was really happy to see come out, Tarty's peanut crackers. Oh, they look delicious.
So we need to go through and have a look at a couple of the dishes that came out last night. So Larissa.
Yeah.
So Larissa decided that she was going with a family secret.
Oh.
A family secret that nobody knew.
My grandfather is actually Charlie Chaplin. I don't know.
Really?
No.
It's a secret.
It's not mine. It's a secret.
It's a secret. No. So she decided to make knefe. So, but the secret was cornflake crumbs.
Oh.
Now, I went online and did a bit of a browse, and according to the Twitter population, not much of a fucking secret, really.
No.
Now, I spoke to a unnamed individual last night.
Who makes delicious knefe pies.
Who makes amazing knefe pies. Who did say that when it's translated, it's actually those ones with the cornflakes are referred to as the lying knefe. And I said they're fine, but they're the lying ones because they're not made the exact same way. But I just thought it was really interesting that it's so secret, there's a fucking term for it. Like, seriously. And now this challenge, by the way, should have been made perfectly for Kyle because, after all, we know he likes hiding things as other things.
Yeah, like, what
Scallops and mushrooms.
I know.
That moustache is hiding... I don't quite know what, but it's probably a deep, dark secret that he doesn't want to unfold.
Surely he would have done like a turducken pumpkin, like a pumpkin, like a pass. Okay,
A turducken that's actually a pumpkin?
yeah, like a to pumpkin.
Pumducken.
Pumducken, and it's got like tofu inside a jalapeno.
Don't make it sound...
Inside a parsnip, inside a fucking parsnip going to a fucking zucchini, inside a fucking grapefruit,
a panuckin. Anyway,
inside a kingfish, inside a pumpkin.
Well, it could be inside a kingfish because he'd eat that because it's pescatarian. And where is the kingfish? We must always ask that question. So we had a couple of these sort of secrety sort of things. Again, the cornflake crumb went well, not surprisingly, because again, apparently it's a thing.
So technically, that could be like a breakfast knife.
Yes, let's go with that, shall we?
Yeah.
Pour milk over it, it's fine.
Actually, don't pour milk over it. Cocoa Pops yet.
They will now. So we got a bit worried about George at one point last night.
Oh, just one point?
Well, there was a point where we were wondering if he was having a stroke. Because rather than push, and it just sounded like he was like seizing up.
Was it that? No.
It was push.
Push, or was it push?
It was push, and then it was push after that.
Oh my god! Like
push, watch the mush.
I'm just
push, watch the mush. Because it's got to not rhyme.
I hope the nurse just pulled him aside and did the checking for stroke there, because it was quite.
All right, so let's
an interesting choice.
So let's talk about Leah. We've avoided it long enough. So, okay, I have a theory around Leah. So my theory around Leah
is she wants to be on women's sanitary product commercials.
She is very bright.
Or Metamucil commercials.
She is very bright and cheery. She is the after. And I'm going to talk a lot about Leah, obviously, because, she goes home. But we're going to talk a lot about Leah because...
Before, I was feeling all sad and bloated. And then I took Metamucil once a day, and here I am at Masterchef.
Seriously. So what I need to talk about with Leah on this challenge is she's had a bit of an issue, and what I will say is it's the same thing that Callan suffered a couple of years ago. So we said at the start, the benefit for Leah is that she's grown up watching this show and she loves this show and she knows the lot of it.
And she knew that when it's her time to go, sorry to jump ahead, what to say in order to get a good flashback montage going.
She was ready. She had all the cues ready. It was great. She's rehearsed that in the mirror. But she's one of these people where all the really difficult stuff, she's practiced it.
Yep.
She loves those things, all the molecular stuff, all the micro stuff. Great concepts and great skills. And she's talking about being able to pull this trick of the caviar out of her locker and out of her bag. And I'm like, nobody who cooks talks that way. Masterchef people talk that way. Somebody in a kitchen is like, I've got that skill in my locker. I can pull out whenever I want. What is it? It's making strawberry caviar. Now,
it's a secret.
The problem for poor Leah was twofold. First of all, last night, it didn't work for her.
No, secret, even she didn't know it.
So secret, didn't even know it. But the other thing that came through a little bit tonight on the elimination challenge is the basics and a lot of the fundamentals. She's good, but the level of fundamentals you need for MasterChef are significantly higher. So she's got all the trick stuff down really well and knows all the trick stuff, but the fundamentals to carry it out to get to that point are where she needs to grow. She's acknowledged that, by the way. She said that. And it's one of the things I do respect about Leah is she hasn't said I know everything. She said I got a long way to go.
And I think she will, because she's got a passion for it and
100%.
she's got a real interest. So I'm
100%.
But I wish her all well.
But I think
we're jumping ahead.
But I think that what we saw in Leah last night and tonight was the fundamentals thing. So the skill and the high end fancy stuff, because they watch MasterChef and they live that MasterChef thing. They know all that.
Mum, I want a Heston Blumenthal kit for my birthday. You're only 10, Leah. Yeah, but I want it for my birthday.
I'm going to be on the show soon. I need to practice.
Yeah, I've got 6 years, Mum. It's 8, Leah. I want to be on it in 6 years, only if you go on Bake Off. Oh, I don't want to go on Bake Off. There's no money.
So what we find about that, just quickly before we move on to a couple of other parts of this challenge, what we find with the problem is in not having the fundamentals is when things go wrong, the problem becomes you can't improvise your way out of trouble.
No.
Like something goes wrong, you don't know how to fix it, and you find yourself whipping jelly.
What is this? Jelly for whippers?
Jelly for whippers.
Jelly for dams? Is that what it is? Whipping jelly?
You find yourself trying to whisk jelly back into shape.
Have you been
if you
a
don't
bad
understand
boy,
it.
jelly?
Oh God! Oh God, she's off. She's off.
Keep going.
So, we also, the weird part for the judging last night for me was Steph made a curry that Sandeep said was probably the best he's had.
Yeah, but okay. Like,
Yeah, but
fucking
let me
racial profiling. That'd be like, okay, someone, like, I say if I went on a cooking show, I know, but this is like all hypothetical.
Yeah, I know.
I went on a cooking show in, say, Taiwan, and I was the only white person there, and the challenge was, like, someone cooks a fish pie. I've never eaten a fish pie in my life, but they're like, this is white people food. You there, white person, eat this fish pie. So I eat the fish pie. My feedback, because I want to seem positive, is that's the best fish pie I've ever eaten.
Okay, but the judges also said that it was one of the best curries they'd ever eaten, and then put Sandeep through for burning chops marinated on a grill with this garam masala they've already had.
Yeah, that was pretty
That was my problem. My problem wasn't about Sandeep said it was great, so she should go through. My bigger problem was everyone said it was great, and all Sandeep did was grill some chops.
Yeah, but you're forgetting the essential point here, Chris.
The garam masala's a secret?
No, he's got a penis.
Oh, sorry, my bad. My mistake. I forgot. You're right. I'm so sorry.
There's Gary, George, and Matt, and they're like, oh, that curry Steph made was fucking phenomenal. Like, and they're like, yeah, but you know, Sandeep's got a penis. Oh, that's true.
The other word that came up last night.
Sandeep does have a penis.
The other word that came up a lot last night was the word cracking.
Yeah.
I kept on saying, oh, this is a cracking good. Well, this is a cracking good. And then the contestants were like, I'm making a cracking good. Why were they saying cracking?
Oh, maybe that's what they're on to
Under
next.
pressure? They're on cracking under pressure? So we got into the judging, obviously, and we ended up with 3 in elimination tonight. We ended up with Leah in elimination. We ended up with Anushka in elimination. And we ended up with Kyle in elimination.
But let's talk about the people of colour who have all ended up in immunity challenge for Tuesday night.
Go for it.
That would be Derek.
It would be.
Tati.
It would be.
Sandeep.
It would be.
Larissa.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, 4 people.
That's quite good.
Not a white person amongst them. Woo!
It'll be interesting to see what happens with that tomorrow night. That'll be fascinating to see what happens in that elimination cook. There's also a lot of people projecting who it might possibly be in the secrets. Because, you know, they've shown the shoes of the contestant.
Banksy.
I like the idea it's Banksy. We wouldn't know.
No.
Even if he was cooking, we wouldn't know. Now...
It's one of the members of Slipknot.
So tonight...
Is it Danger Mouse? Who's the...
No,
you know that... You know what I'm
I
talking
know
about?
who you mean, and yes.
Who wears the hat? The mask?
No, it's...
And he's a DJ?
No, it's Evan. It's Evan who's Connor for Reals DJ playing Harry Potter with the helmet on.
Yeah.
See, pop star never stopping people.
But there's another.
Yeah, Danger Mouse is the same thing.
Oh, and who are the ones that do around
Daft
the
Punk.
world? Daft Punk. It could be Daft Punk.
So you're saying that Daft Punk is cooking?
Yeah. Although I'm liking.
It was Adidas, so I'm assuming it's a member of Run DMC.
Well, I'm hoping tomorrow night they go circa current affairs circa 1988, where it's just like a blurred out face and like a demon voice.
Changed.
I've decided to cook.
So tonight.
Yeah.
So tonight there are a couple of things. First of all,
you wanted to conjecture about who it was. Who do you reckon it is?
I don't actually know exactly who it is. I did have somebody suggest that they thought it might be David Chang.
Ooh.
I don't think it is because I think they would have hyped that up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't have kept that a secret.
Yeah.
Interesting though to see if it is. I mean, look, I'd like to see David Chang out here because that'll just complete the Ugly Delicious loop. So we've been working on the Ugly Delicious loop. So tonight's challenge. Now, tonight's challenge, they started off by saying the word secret a billion fucking times.
It's a secret.
I'm getting
and
over
the secret
it. I'm getting over
is
it.
secret.
So at that point, they all pretended to know Leno.
Yes.
Not Jay. Not that Leno. Just Leno, who, of course, was the chef who brought us our dish of the evening.
Paella.
Paella. Spanish fried rice.
It's nasi español.
Nasi español. There we go. So nasi español was what they brought out with all the seafood. And all
I
the
believe
rice.
it is paella.
It's paella. Yeah.
Yeah.
We may have looked that up and checked it out.
Although, let's go full fair dinkum, go paella.
Let's go with George's paella. Anyway, so Kyle looked at it and said, it looks easy, but looks can be deceiving. And in my head, he followed up with, I once made mushrooms look like they were scallops.
Yep.
So that's how deceiving it could be. But I really liked the concept of taste it.
Yep, cook it.
Work out what's in there. Mm-hmm. Here's all the ingredients, but we're not going to tell you what order you've got to put them in and what
and
order you've got to do.
here's the stock, so you can taste it to work out what goes into it.
And you could go back at any point, and it took them a while to work out.
Yeah.
That you could go back.
Now, there would be a point I'm going, do I need to stay on MasterChef, or can I just sit down and have a big fucking dish of paella?
See, what I would have done...
And I'm calling it paella because fuck it.
What I would have done... I would have gone over, and they were all getting, like, cups and bowls and stuff and, like, tasting it to find out what it was. I would have gone and grabbed a large fucking scoopful and thrown it in mine and just mixed it around and gone, you can't tell the difference. If you say it's shit, yours might be shit. So that would have been my safety net. I would have just thrown it all in there like that.
Like when Anushka ran up to taste the broth again, and I'm waiting for her to just like take a cup and just pour it in.
It was the sentence where they said everything is there, but everything has a role. But it wasn't like everything's in there. Like, everything has a role with it. And I think I put out on Twitter, the crabs are there to judge you harshly. The capsicum is there to make you feel a little bit awkward about your life's choices and make you think about what you do for the future. The saffron is there to recognise just how fucking expensive this pursuit is.
And the rice is there to question your ability to measure.
Oh, it wasn't an ever, Kyle. I just decided to throw it in the pan. That looks about right. Yes. At which point the pan just like, everyone up on the gantry's like, oh shit.
I do think that the calamari came into its role, having done some method acting though. It was
definitely.
really there. It was in the zone.
I saw the cuttlefish last week.
Yes.
I saw the cuttlefish last week and went, I've got a lot to live up to.
It's like, I can take that, I can own it, and I can embody it. Okay, let's just be rings of calamari in the paella.
And
rings of calamari.
Sing. Oh. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Academy Award. Right.
Paella acting.
Yeah.
Nothing better.
That's a BAFTA to you, because I can't remember what the Australian one is.
Nobody can. Nobody can.
It's got a Logie nomination.
Everyone fucking else does. Hey, if the Channel 7 morning weatherman gets a Gold Logie nomination... Like seriously, if he can get a Gold Logie nomination,
if the weatherman on Sun Racist,
if Sun Racist weatherman can have a nomination,
so can you.
Why haven't we been nominated for anything yet? Mediocre new talent.
I have, and I've won.
Is this another thing like the fucking Virgies?
A few Virgies I've got under my sleeve.
I still haven't won a fucking Virgie either, but anyway. Be that as it may, let's move on with our lives. The plugs for the sponsor.
Yep.
Kyle's plug for Cobram tonight is, look, it's up there with George's carrot one. Yeah. And I was watching that episode again the other day with George holding up, hey, isn't it amazing how beautiful these local carrots are? Which was just so weird.
Kyle's Cobram plug was as natural as wax fruit.
So I'm using Cobram because it gives a really nice flavour to the dish, and I think it's going to have full-bodied and, they're the fucking major sponsor.
Yeah.
Right?
AKA, I'm using Cobram because it's the only fucking olive oil we have available in the MasterChef kitchen.
I'm using Cobram because it was part of the settlement last year with Brandon Pang when he fell over and nearly killed himself with a bottle of Cobram. Right? Part of the victims of Cobram settlement was a continued use of Cobram.
Yes.
So...
And here we are.
And yet here we are. So... The dish itself... there wasn't a lot to it in terms of Leah fucked up a broth early.
And she what I admired about her is she eventually got the hint.
God, they had to work with her. Oh, okay. So the gantry can't tell you what's wrong, but the gantry is allowed to hint. And again,
and hasn't she watched this show enough growing up that she knows if the gantry is perpetually asking you, check your stock,
what's missing?
What's going on?
And that didn't work. And then you had Leno came over with, I think it was with Gary.
Yeah.
And they asked her the question.
Yes.
And Gary's like, and then what? And what else? And then what did you do? And what else did you put in the stock?
Yep.
Is there any flavour that you remember? Maybe is it fishy? Oh, it just tasted fishy, so what might be in there?
She goes back to the stock, tastes it, she goes, it just tastes like the sea to me.
And then Gary's like, but is it just fishy? Is there a little bit more to it than that? Is it maybe a bit sweeter? What might make it a bit... And eventually she's gone, crab.
Yeah.
And it took possibly only like 30 seconds in the kitchen, but the way it just dragged. And you could just see Leah going, well, I was born on a warm summer's day, so that's not it. And it's like, take the gantry's clues. It was a bit like Blue's Clues from the gantry.
But it was still like, oh, Leah's looks a bit pale, and the colour just wasn't a good
as they
comparison.
referred to an English backpacker on Bondi Beach.
Yes.
But what Leah worked out eventually at the end, she went, I have a taste, and I realised I've put a pinch of paprika in it, and I'm going, why did you only put a pinch? It's Spanish cooking.
But also the colour, she forgot to put in the prawn heads, which...
Yeah, it was the prawn heads, and then it was the paprika at the end because it makes it more golden.
Yeah.
And again, it's Spanish cooking. Bulk Spanish cooking.
Yeah.
Like, you empty a container of paprika. It's why I like Spanish food. Like, I'm a bandit for paprika, as you know. Paprika,
you're down for tapas.
Paprika and chorizo.
Oh.
Like, just, I'm there.
We just call you Don Chris.
That works perfectly. So we had a situation where Leah forgot...
Love a woman.
Oh, God.
You need chorizo.
We do.
Because Bryan Adams is completely and utterly Spanish.
100%.
Speaking of Spanish, who would be your favourite Spanish entrant in Eurovision?
That is such a short list. Actually, it's not. It's Bahrain.
It's Bahrain. Bahrain is the best Spanish entrant.
Say yeah.
Yeah, this year's... No. Check out Bahrain.
So,
it's awesome.
Los Ketchup Girls, simply for the absolutely hilarity of the situation.
I think she sings Paye.
Oh.
Paye.
Was that entire segue just to shoehorn yeah in there?
Yeah. That's what you thought. You thought George was pronouncing incorrectly. No, he's just a big Bahrain fan.
Yeah. And we have an episode title. Come on and raise the band high. You are the one who never dies. Hooray, singing lots of seafood. Hooray, singing lots of seafood. No, anyway, there's about 3 people who know that song, and everyone's like, what the fuck are they talking about? The dog's even going off about
Josh
it.
and Brandon Black. At least Josh knows.
Dying of laughter.
Yeah.
So, Anushka. Now, we had a situation where we started off with Leah's fucked and in a lot of trouble. And then we had a situation where Kyle forgot to actually put, any liquid in it and emptied an entire packet of rice into a pan on heat.
Okay, so, Chris, you're cooking up rice.
Yes.
How do you measure it? Do you just go straight to the pan?
Just pour it straight in the pan, apparently.
Eyeball it?
But what he did was, I loved, he put it in the pan and then he flattened it out.
This is going to make it fit.
Like a mini rice patty. It was like a mini rice... Was he trying to make a rice cake?
Something.
Because there was no liquid in there. So he just put the rice flat in the pan. You can see everyone in the gantry was like, what the fuck is he doing?
What are you doing with that? I presume it's arborio. That's the rice you use for...
It's normally arborio is more risotto, but yeah, probably.
Oh, right. Yes, okay. I don't know.
So
the paella rice.
The paella rice.
The paella rice.
As we refer to it, it's paella rice, which is what it's called by everybody. Just paella rice. Okay. So the measuring was... We'll go with haphazard.
Basically, he flung open the Masterchef doors and backed in a dump truck full of rice.
What I want to know is...
Here, right here in the pan.
Is that what it's like when you go to his craft brewery? Is that how he measures the beer for the craft brewery?
I do feel a bit hypocritical, though, because obviously his rice measuring skills are akin to my soil measuring skills.
Go for it, because this is people need to know.
I've told them.
One more time with feeling.
No. I'll just abbreviate it. Basically, I am shit with measuring stuff out. My boss told me to go and get enough soil to do these 2 raised garden beds. I have no idea of how to work out cubic measurements, so I ordered 4 tons. And I warned them. I told them my maths was shit, and so 4 tons of soil arrived.
Makes sense.
Soil for everyone.
Makes sense to me. Soil for everybody, dance. So we then had, after he fucked that up, we then cut to Anushka, who was going really well, and then out of nowhere she just spills like half a jug of stock. Just all over herself.
It just didn't make sense. Like, she was just there. Like, she was holding boiling hot liquid in a metal dish and just flopping it around the place. It's like there was no...
And now I feel like there was
controlled...
I feel like there was a Federico Fellini...
movement.
I feel like there was a Federico Fellini moment we missed out on.
Yeah?
So when they did the aerial shot...
Yeah.
And there was like this puddle of like spilt broth.
Yeah.
And like one blue bandage. Just laying, I felt like a black and white moody shot with like music, just like, but not like full music, like, you know, the dum, 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 dum,
Yeah.
just sort of like cutting in and out, and then like a close up of like a twitching Gary eye, and then back to the puddle, and then Anushka like looking forlorn,
And just
then
one tear trickling down a cheek.
yeah, and then cutting to a cactus for no reason, and then back to the kitchen again. I feel like we missed a
And then
trick.
the Vespa smoking a cigar.
The Vesper is always smoking a cigar. That's what would happen. So they came back, and something was burning. But for some reason, nobody could work out which pan it was.
No, but they're all going, Anushka, is it burning? And she's like tasting it, checked it out. I'm fine. Kyle didn't hear it.
But here's the thing: if they
Leah
look at
heard nothing.
Anushka, and they're like, "It smells like it's coming from your
It
bench,"
smells like burning.
and Anushka's checks it, and hers isn't burning. The pan directly behind Anushka is Leah.
Yeah.
And Leah never even bothered to glimpse.
I don't know if she heard. I presume...
No, they all stopped because they
Yeah?
all looked, because they're like, we can all smell burning, but we don't know where it's coming from. Leah didn't... I'm checking.
Yeah.
Like, if it's me, I'm going, well, if hers isn't burning,
Yeah.
it's got to be... But how could nobody work it out? And thank you, Abby, by the way, for narrating the burning for us. I wasn't aware what the smell of burning was
I
until
presume
Abby...
she's going to get a Walkley for that.
Oh, that's prize-winning journalism.
It's like her up against 7 News for their coverage of the bushfires.
Now, far more importantly than anything that happened in the episode, we need to talk about the judging quickly.
Uh-huh.
George. Right.
George of the jungle.
You had cutlery.
Yep.
It's paella.
Yep.
Don't fucking use the tweezers.
He didn't even use it to serve it up. It was just at the end he felt compelled to hold a prawn. Just one
Is there
prawn.
something in his contract which states he must be able to tweeze something?
Yeah, like...
And he looked at Matt Preston and Matt's gone, don't do it. He's like, I have to tweeze something.
Yeah.
It's either your face or that prawn.
And
Matt's
I'm all
like,
out of hair to tweeze.
And Matt's like, just fucking go for it.
Just
I don't-
tweeze the prawn.
I don't care. So they taste Anushka's and it's great.
Welcome to the tweezed prawn.
Welcome to the tweezed prawn. So they tasted Anushka's and it's great and it's fantastic and they're like, it's wonderful and the flavour is beautiful and it's okay. So Kyle's come in and when he put his down, it looked, as I think I put out on Twitter, it looked like an art installation. A day at the beach, tied out.
It also reminded me a little of a nasi goreng that was served up last week. Just a bit.
The rice was better. So they put it down and it
Less
thudded.
clumpy.
It thudded. And that's where they went, ooh, a weighty dish.
Yes.
That's interesting. And you're like, that's not a good thing. And Kyle walks out and they're like, yeah, there's big problems with this. And you're like, oh, maybe Kyle's in trouble. But they haven't said the word overcooked. And they said that in the preview.
Yeah.
So Leah comes in. I feel I've really got a handle on it now. I knew what I was doing by the end of the cook and it was all great. And she walks out. The first thing they do is go, scoop, black.
We found where the burning was coming from.
And immediately we knew what was happening. And then they tried to... Now, we've given them credit previously for saying straight up, well, we knew what happened. In this one, they dragged it a little bit. But they were right. Leah had to go home.
Yeah.
So...
Unfortunately for Kyle's wife, who is carrying twins and managing a toddler. Like, I cannot...
And probably the craft brewery.
I cannot explain how douchey I think that is to just go, you know what? I've got to go pursue my dreams, love. And if I can't do it when you're like 6 months pregnant with twins, when can I do it?
He hasn't noticed he's left. He's very good at making things look like other things. He's got a potted plant that he's made look like Kyle. That's why he grew the moustache. He didn't have the moustache before, but he's done it to resemble the hedge he left behind.
Is this like Homer Simpson's Marge hedge?
Yes, definitely, 100%.
The paper plate face.
100%. So, I commented on Twitter tonight. We found Leah annoying at points.
Yeah.
But I can't fault the fact that her enthusiasm is genuine.
Absolutely.
And it's all genuine. And the annoyance in terms of watching at times is not on her. It's on, well, us.
Yeah.
And it's on the editing. And, like, the way they presented her. Her enthusiasm has been genuine. And, look, she's kept it upbeat. Even when she's been in those eliminations, she's kept it upbeat.
She's been in 3 of them. Like
Exactly. And... like, that's hard to keep upbeat on.
Yeah.
And you can see it was starting to take its toll. It's probably the right point for Leah to go.
Absolutely. I don't think she's going to progress any further here, but I think she's going to have a very strong...
100%.
Yeah.
So, before we finish up, just to let everybody know, first of all, if you haven't checked out the drinking game, you can find the drinking game and what's left of your livers over at Washing Up Pod on Instagram.
Yep.
Also, we announced it tonight on the podcast, but Thursday night... we have a very special guest host. So on Thursday night...
her name's Kristie. Yeah, me.
Yeah, you're always here. You're contractually obliged.
I'm extremely special.
You're contractually obligated to be here. You don't even know you signed that contract. However, who is not contractually obliged to be here and is here out of the goodness of her heart, and what a wonderful person she is. Huda. Huda will be here, our good friend, our compadre, our podcast buddy, our maker of domes.
Seller of schmears,
maker of domes, purveyor of cake pops. Huda will be on the show this week, so on Thursday night. So
she of Studio 10 fame.
Studio 10 fame, indeed. So we will have Huda on this week. That'll be fantastic to get to catch up with her again and see what she's been up to. So that's kind of your lot for this episode.
Yep.
Hopefully the rest of Secrets Week isn't that much of a secret because it's really getting irritating. Until then, I'm still Chris.
And I'm still Kristie.
We'll catch you all on Thursday.
Secret.